the High Court was wrong in the mathematical error, which was the prime argument of the state of Karnataka against the verdict which was given by the Karnataka High Court. Now what happens here on is that Sasikala in fact has absolutely no legal remedy. There is a curative and there is a review petition, but these are not open court hearings. 99% of such petitions are dismissed by the Supreme Court. There is hardly any relief given unless there is a point of law which is involved. And even if it goes forward, it's a long, tedious process of law. As of now, the political career of Sasikala is over. She has been convicted by none other than the Supreme Court of India, and the court has made it very clear that the remaining term, which is over 3 years, she must go ahead and she must serve the term. Since Jayalalitha has already passed away, technically speaking, they call this abated. They will not give any finding, but because the accused have been convicted, it is by deduction we understand that Jayalalitha is convicted of the disproportionate assets, but because she is deceased, in law you do not give a finding like that.
What news coming in that the riot police has reached the Golden Bay Resort? The riot police has reached the Golden Bay Resort. The police stepping in. Ashish is joining us. Ashish, what do you see around you?
Rahul, situation is very tense here. Now, Zonal IG himself is leading the police force. Almost 500 police personnel of Tamil Nadu Special Police Force are entering inside the resort. All have entered the resort. Now they are going to get Sasikala's custody. Meanwhile, all the supporters are, of course, they are very sad, and it's a very tense situation here. Media is now here, and the media personnel are also trying to enter into the resort. But of course, because of the tension and the atmosphere, no one is kind of attempting to go inside or to enter into the gate. Right now, police personnel almost in 20 batches. 20 batches they have reached here. They are entering inside the resort. All are geared with riot control equipments, and they are completely dressed up, and they are entering inside the resort. Meanwhile, senior ministers, Rajya Sabha MPs, Lok Sabha MPs, all are present with Sasikala Rajan. We have
Subramaniam Swamy is speaking. He's the petitioner in this case. It is on his petition that this order has been delivered. Let's listen to what Swamy is saying.
वो तो इसी जज के पास जाएंगे. इस जजमेंट के बाद बेफजूल है, और यदि इस जज के सामने दोबारा नहीं जाओगे तो फिर क्यूरेटिव 5 जज के सामने भी नहीं जा सकते हो. वो सब एक औपचारिकता है. मुझे नहीं लगता कि 4 साल से की सजा से बच सकते हैं.
कोर्ट ने और कुछ कहा है इस मैटर पे?
वो यही कहा है कि भ्रष्टाचार लड़ना हमारा धार्मिक अधिकार है, और ये तुम्हारे अखबार वाले भी सीखना चाहिए.
अब सर, अगर तमिलनाडु की बात करें तो क्या ऑप्शन बचता है?
नहीं, देयर नो ऑप्शन. वो अन्ना डीएमके जो शशिकला जिसकी जनरल सेक्रेटरी है, उसकी पार्टी की मेजॉरिटी है, उसकी जो अब नुमाइंदे वो चुनेगी, उस नुमाइंदे को मुख्यमंत्री तुरंत बनाना चाहिए. और अब गवर्नर को किसी हालत में यानी देरी नहीं करनी चाहिए, और करेंगे तो फिर वो भी एक केस बनेगा.
स्मॉल थिंग्स, सुप्रीम कोर्ट कन्विक्ट Sasikala.
Yes, I have been saying so, that I am expecting conviction. How many times I have told you? But you people of the press have been spreading false news about me, that I have filed a petition in the Supreme Court when I never filed one. So you press, now I think I should devote some attention to corruption in the press.
But lot of option.
The option she has, her party has got the majority, clear. And her ADMK's nominee should be now immediately sworn in by the governor. You should not delay any further.
Okay, that's Subramaniam Swamy. I want to go across now to Akshaya Nath. Akshaya Nath is joining us from where Sasikala is at this time at the Golden Bay Resort. Akshaya, the riot police coming in large numbers. We're seeing these live images. Describe to our viewers what's happening at the Golden Bay Resort at this time. Akshaya?
As soon as the verdict was out, what we could see... Rahul, as soon as the verdict was out, what we saw was a large number of people gathering out and screaming anti-Sasikala slogans, and also saying that yes, O Paneerselvam is the Chief Minister of the state. And later we have seen that large number of police force, more than 10 vans carrying police personnel, riot policies have already entered the Golden Bay and have all gone in. There were also women polices along with them, and we're getting a sense that Sasikala will will be escorted out of the Golden Bay Resort with this entire police regiment that has been sent in. And also the situation is very tense here. People in the in and around vicinity rejoicing that VK Sasikala has been convicted, but at the same time there is a fear that a large number of AIADMK supporters might come here and create ruckus, Rahul.
Police personnel have come in large numbers. Do you see these MLAs stick with Sasikala still, or do you see them now change now that she's actually been convicted by the Supreme Court?
Well, Rahul, the sense that we are getting is that as of now, none of the MLAs have come out, but more and more ADMK cars have entered the place, the Golden Bay Resort. And also, Rahul, I need to point out, as soon as the verdict came out, all the media personnel who were there close to the gates were asked to move out. And a few of them, only like a handful of them have got stuck there. Rest of them have been forcefully removed. They've been told that this is not a safe zone. Anything can happen. The police are taking the precautionary measures, and all that we can tell right now is the MLAs will decide in the next couple of hours whether they'll have another chief ministerial candidate to represent them, or will they be jumping ships like the rest of them who have already done.
Okay, we're coming back to you and Akshay in just a moment. I want to go across to T.S. Sudhir. He's at the residence of Paneer Selvam. Paneer Selvam's residence is seeing a huge amount of heightened activity at the Golden Bay Resort. Lots of police. They seem to be anticipating some trouble. Will Sasikala take this with grace? Will she accept this, or do you see possibility of some kind of law and order problem, Sudhir?
Okay, Rahul, before I answer you, just me get you the atmosphere here at Paneer Selvam's residence. This is inside Paneer Selvam's house, and this is the kind of gives you a sense of the crowds here at Paneer Selvam's house. Huge media contingent, of course, a huge number of supporters, obviously all of who believe that he is the new Chennai Super King to be crowned. So the verdict has come and the Supreme Court has ruled in favor of the Chennai Super King. Huge implications of the Sasikala verdict, and of course people here in an extremely jubilant mood. I have been here right from the day, the night in fact, when Paneer Selvam had revolted on Tuesday, and the crowds have only swelled through the days. And
very good judgment, excellent, outstanding performance, the best CM. Continue.
When do you think he will now become CM again properly? I mean, full time?
Yes, definitely. Fulfill of the completion of the year, this next 4 years.
Okay. So there is support for Paneer Selvam, and of course fortune favors the brave. He wasn't really known for this kind of an attitude, this kind of a character before, always known for his psychophancy, a rather servile attitude. But the manner in which he's revolted has captured the imagination of the AIDMK cadre, all of who were actually against Sasikala. So the entire anti-Sasikala space really occupied by Paneer Selvam, and one can expect that over the next couple of hours, if the police actually escorts out the MLAs who are holed up inside the Golden Bay Resort, we could see many of them actually making a beeline to Greenways Road, to Paneer Selvam's residence. So
I've got word coming in that Sasikala apparently broke down. When this verdict was broken on TV, Sasikala, who was watching, broke down. This is going to be a tough road ahead for her. Very little options. Bishwajit Bhattacharya, does she have any options?
Well, she has two further options to pursue legally. Number one is review petition, and number two is curative petition.
What's the difference? What does it mean?
The review means the review goes before the same, judges to review the order, which is unlikely to succeed in my respectful view. And in the event of review petition being turned down, then she has an option to file a curative petition which goes before the top 3 judges of the Supreme Court. But in my view, even curative petition is unlikely to succeed. So for all practical purposes, in my view, the legal journey for the case is over. And in a way, if I may say so, this will send a salutary message to entire political spectrum of India that, be you ever so high, law is above you.
That's a very important point. I want to go across to the Golden Bay Resort. Ashish is there. Lots of police vans coming in. Ashish, report on what you're seeing around you. Ashish? From the Golden Bay Resort, lots of police personnel coming in. Let's listen to Ashish.
Within minutes after the announcement of the Supreme Court verdict being out, we're seeing that a large number of police officials have started coming out and blocking the entrance towards the Golden Bay Resort. Tight security here. We're seeing that more vehicles of AIADMK supporters going into the Golden Bay Resort area, and also within seconds after the announcement was made, we saw that a lot of public who are living in and around this area coming out and raising anti-Sasikala slogans and rejoicing at the fact that she has been convicted. It is seen that the kind of situation that we are facing now is the crowd here are happy that she has been convicted, but at the same time, to maintain law and order situation, more police officials are coming in. So the big question will be, what will the MLAs who are inside decide? Will they still back Sasikala or will they move to the OPS camp? With camera person Prakash, this is Akshay Nath from Kuvatur for India Today.
That's Akshay Nath reporting from the Golden Bay Resort. I want to go across now to KTS Tulsi. KTS Tulsi is a senior advocate of the Supreme Court in the past. He has argued for bail for Jayalalitha. So he's been part of the defense team now. Mr. Tulsi, the order coming out saying that Sasikala is convicted. There were apparently adverse remarks against Jayalalitha as well, but they were held in abatement because she's passed away. Your sense on this historic order from the Supreme Court, sir? Mr. Tulsi?
You see, I think bulk of the alleged disproportionate assets were perhaps something which was with her from her days in film acting. In 1997, when her house was raided, they had recovered 800 kg of silver, 28 kg of gold, 750 pairs of shoes, 10,500 saris, 91 watches, and the valuables kept in the vault. Now the question is that, you know, film actors and actresses, they accumulate a lot of...
Mr. Tulsi, stay with me just for a moment. I've got Subramaniam Swamy joining me on this phone. Dr. Swamy, it is your petition. 20 years later, Sasikala convicted. Your first thought, Dr. Swamy, on this historic order from the Supreme Court?
Yes, it is a historic order, particularly the concluding observations as an appendix which Justice Roy said about corruption in India and how it should be fought no matter where it is, on your side or the other side. I think what the judgment is now should set shivers through the corrupt people in our country, in whichever side they are in. And I'm very happy that after 20 years, I always knew we were going to win. Even the Karnataka High Court didn't dare to say that they didn't have disproportionate assets. They only said it's a small number. And now I think the path has been laid for pursuing other cases against other people who are in high places.
Dr. Swamy, this builds on your perception as being the giant slayer. It's taken 20 years, this whole legal process. Now Sasikala finally convicted at the end of a very long legal journey.
Yes, it is. Well, of course, the fact is that the legal processes are such that any clever lawyer can manipulate it to get a delay, and that's what has happened. But I think somewhere we have to now further tighten the Prevention of Corruption Act. I'm sorry to say there is presently an amendment which the previous government introduced and our government seems to be hell-bent on passing, which will dilute the Prevention of Corruption Act. I've already circulated an amendment to that act, to that bill. So now I think there should be a stricter adherence to fighting corruption no matter where it is.
What do you see happen next? You're also, apart from arguing this case and apart from this being your petition, You're also a politician from Tamil Nadu. Do you see Sasikala appoint a nominee, activate Plan B, or do you think O Pannirselvam is now the new Chennai Super King?
Pannirselvam doesn't deserve to be chief minister. He's a deserter. It has to be the party which Sasikala is the general secretary of, and that has the majority, and they will produce a list, and that list, according to that list, the governor should not hesitate any further. I have no respect for Pannirselvam after the somersault that he has done, proposing her name and then running off to the opposite side, saying that he was forced to do it. That means he has no backbone. He can't stand a little pressure.
No, but there's a possibility that many MLAs could now switch from the Sasikala camp to the OPS camp.
They didn't do it all this time. How can they do it now?
Well, no, earlier they didn't know that Sasikala would be convicted. Now they know that, so that changes things.
Everybody knew the case, and I had told them myself. I had gone on public several times to say that although I am supporting her constitutionally, but as far as the case is concerned, she will definitely be convicted. And they knew that she would be convicted. But still, they thought that since she has made a claim, they should stand by her.
Okay.
And they will stand by her.
I hope to have you live very soon. Dr. Subramaniam Swamy, for joining us with your first thoughts. Thank you very much. KTS Tulsi, Dr. Swamy, building on his image as the giant slayer. People dismissed his petition initially. 20 years later, a conviction is what he's managed to get, and he's scalped the head of somebody who could potentially have been chief minister otherwise.
Yeah, that's true. I heartily welcome this judgment and believe that this will be a trendsetter, and public men and women will realize that law can catch up to them. The high and the mighty also need to realize that they are also under the law. They are not above the law. And the same law, in this case, I think even Ms. Jayalalitha went to the prison twice, and she perhaps had to resign as a chief minister thrice. And despite the fact that the case gathered speed only after it was transferred to Karnataka, and a very outstanding lawyer, Mr. Acharya, was appointed the prosecutor. That's when it progressed, and even when they...
Just stay with me for a moment. I want to go across now live and exclusive to senior BJP leader Ram Madhav. He's joining us on this broadcast. He's just tweeted to say that the governor did the right thing. This is the first response we're hearing from the BJP. What do you make, Mr. Madhav, of this historic order by the Supreme Court?
You all know that the Supreme Court had actually said that in a week's time they would be delivering the judgment. The judgment has come out today, and naturally the contender for the chief minister post now stands disqualified to occupy that seat. So ideally everybody should have waited, because there was clear indication from the Supreme Court. There was no other reason to say anything else. So we believe that whatever has happened in the interest of the state only, and governor proper due diligence he applied and took his time.
No, we've heard the Congress do a press conference just now, PC Chako alleging that the BJP is playing a role in getting the governor to act the way he has, that he is virtually delaying this whole process to ensure that Sasikala doesn't become chief minister. How do you respond to the Congress, sir?
But has he seen this statement today or not? See, we have not done anything to either get some kind of a judgment or some kind of a delay by the governor. These were all actions. Why did Supreme Court say that I am going to deliver the judgment in 1 week's time? Because they were ready with all their due legal process completed. They were ready to deliver the judgment. So naturally, governor took his time to make sure that his decision would not go contrary to the law.
Do you see this as a larger message to politicians per se? One of the judges at length speaks about the menace of corruption in public life. Do you think this is a very stinging warning to politicians to get their act in order?
Absolutely. As somebody who is a member of the party led by President Modi, who is now actually waging an all-out war against corruption in public places, including politics, this judgment comes as a great encouragement to all of us. That judiciary is also totally ruthless when it comes to dealing with corruption. This is the kind of system we need in this country. That we have to clean our public life, the politics, the bureaucracy, the public life of this menace of corruption. What our government is doing is the same thing. We are quite happy with this judgment.
Now, Mr. Ram Madhav, the AIDMK has just done a press conference in Chennai, hitting out at the BJP, saying you've stained Jayalalitha's legacy.
No, it's so unfortunate. Where is the BJP in all this? It's a judgment on a particular case which was delivered, and there was a judgment first by the lower court, then the high court, then the Supreme Court have delivered the historic and important judgment today. Where is BJP in this? It was a case between the leaders of a political party and the law enforcing agencies. Where is BJP in this?
What do you see happen next? Do you see OPS being crowned as the new Chennai Super King? Do you think Sasikala will plant a nominee? What will happen? What's your reading?
AIDMK has the numbers to form the government there. Naturally, they will, the proper due legislative process will be followed by the honorable governor, and whatever needs to be done to put a government in place will be done, I hope, very soon.
I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much, Mr. Ram Madhav, for joining us on this broadcast with your initial thoughts. That's Ram Madhav dialing in live on India Today with his thoughts on the big judgment pronounced by the Supreme Court. The first reaction from the Bharatiya Janata Party, which is being accused of meddling. They're saying we have nothing to do with it. I want to go across now to my colleague, India Today's editor, Padmaja Joshi. She's outside Paneerselvam's residence. A big party taking place. We saw earlier in that walkthrough you sent us a big garland coming. Has that garland reached Paneerselvam just yet or not, Padmaja?
Absolutely, Rahul. In fact, we were right inside at the time when this announcement was made on the local news channels, and it was absolute chaos because there were people who had been settled there, who had been sitting there since morning, and then there was just wild dancing, flashing of victory signs, crazy high fives, and everyone asking each other what this means.
हमें बहुत खुशी हो रही है कि ओपीएस अय्या आज विन हो रहे हैं और जयललिता को कड़ी से कड़ी सजा देनी चाहिए. ऐसी नौकरानी जो
All right, so okay. So unfortunately there are a lot of these slurs which have also been cast at. All right, so some of these ladies, let me talk to them. Since morning they've just been dancing and singing about O Paneerselvam becoming, and what is interesting also, Rahul, is that yesterday and day before Sasikala had spoken about how she's being attacked only for being a woman, but a sizable number of women now also supporting O Paneerselvam. They've managed to get their hands on a few firecrackers, so firecrackers being set out. Bit of a traffic nightmare also, I'd like to point out to you, because it's right here on the main road that this entire celebration has started. In the meantime, I would like to also tell you that a huge number of police has come in outside Paneerselvam's house. We know that the additional commissioner has gone in. We also have seen the JC gone in, and now here this celebration is going up just a notch with the firecrackers also starting. Okay, so this is just to get the
Padmaja, these people celebrate. There's also a dark irony in all this, Padmaja. And that dark irony is, Padmaja, there's a dark irony in all this. They're celebrating right now, but today would otherwise have also been the day when Jayalalitha would have been convicted. Remember, Sasikala is only a conspirator in this. It's Jayalalitha who was the main accused. The judgment has held an abatement, but essentially if Jayalalitha had been around, she would have been convicted. So these people are celebrating for Paneerselvam, but this is also in some senses a reflection of the fact that Jayalalitha would have been convicted today. These people don't seem to get that.
I don't think, the ramifications of what has happened today, that particular angle has really sunk in for these people. And like you mentioned, so ironic. Let me just also show you this poster which has now been put up outside OPS's house, where he's there in that famous pose, that mudra of meditation outside, right next to Jayalalitha's memorial. And there you have the blessings of Jayalalitha and MGR being showered on him. Alright, so while these people think that, Jayalalitha is showering her blessings on O Paneerselvam, they don't realize that the very lady they are deifying over here is someone on whom also adverse judgment has come today, even though because of her death, it has been abated. Back to you, Rahul.
Okay, any word yet of what Paneerselvam intends to do next, Padmaja? Any sense of what his next course of action is likely to be? There the celebrations taking place, but he still doesn't have the numbers, and there's a very bright chance that Sasikala could appoint a successor. The plan B that we've been talking about could be activated very soon.
That's right. In fact, what we are learning from our sources is that right now there are no premature celebrations. A while ago, we also saw some senior leaders who are on his side, not Maitreyan, but some other leaders, some district level leaders who have gone in, and Paneerselvam is conferring with them. So no premature celebrations for him at this time. Getting itself girded for round 2, Rahul. They're thinking of projecting E. Palaniswamy as the person who is going to take the floor test. He's going to be the leader of their faction instead of Sasikala, and they still believe they have the numbers on their side. So even now, there is a brainstorming on about how to get more and more MLAs.
Okay, so they're trying to get more MLAs on their side. That hasn't happened just yet. Padma Joshi, I'll come back to you in just a moment. From now, live images from O Paneerselvam's residence. There is also, remember, a lot of heavy police deployment where Sasikala is at this time. She apparently broke down the moment the verdict came. She broke down. She was in tears. They're blaming the BJP. Not much legal recourse left at this time for Sasikala. She has to go to jail. Before that, she can nominate someone. The question is, will she be able to hold her party together? That is the big question at this time. T.S. Sudhir is with us. Padmaja Joshi will be with us. We've got our reporters on the ground tracking the story very, very closely. And I also want to focus just for a moment on this very strong comment made in this judgment against corruption per se. There's a very, very strong message. Justice Amitav Roy has written in great detail. There's a separate judgment on the menace of corruption. He's recording incriminating findings against Jayalalitha. Didn't say anything because of the fact that she died. But there's a full section of this verdict where he talks about the menace of corruption in public life. Mr. Bhattacharya.
Rahul, you are absolutely correct. This corruption in public life is destroying the very basics of India's democracy. So this judgment has to be lauded to the hilt, and entire political spectrum in the country should take note of this judgment, particularly as far as amassing wealth is concerned. Because amassing wealth, these disproportionate asset cases, better late than never. This has happened, this has taken 21 years. But I am glad actually a decisive verdict has been given at long last. I wish the justice delivery system in the country accelerates. And if justice delivery system in the country accelerates, if this judgment had come in the year 1997,
it's taken 20 years.
20 years, entire political complexion of India, because retrospectively, and Supreme Court judgment always has a retrospective effect until and unless it is specifically stated. So therefore, you can't retrospectively set things right. Now, there are so many persons, politicians, bureaucrats, etc., in our country. They are amassing wealth. Amassing wealth by foul means has become a pastime of many in public life. So, actually, at least one institution in the country, the Supreme Court of India, the two honorable judges, have sent a decisive message that be you ever so high, the law is above you.
That's an important message to send.
Extremely important message, and this had to be stated. I am not concerned about who the persons concerned are. It is X, Y or Z.
Okay.
I think this is a trend.
Padmaja is at the Paneerselvam residence. There's lots of Nach Gana, dancing, dhol happening, she's telling me. And also Akshay Nath is joining us from the Golden Bay Resort.